All right, I've been meaning to mention this, but my next guest, he beat me to it, right? Meta, which is Facebook, they just launched something called Super Intelligence Labs, and they're going on a hiring blitz, actually, not spree, but blitz. Zuckerberg is recruiting for his super intelligence team, which is going to work to make artificial intelligence systems capable of outperforming humans on nearly every single task. But the Meta boss isn't really simply putting the job listings for roles with potentially over $100 million in pay packages online. And you heard me right. He's paying $100 million to some of these folks. He's on a much more focused headhunting mission. In fact, he has created a list of young AI talent that could turn around his company's less than stellar reputation in AI, according to the Wall Street Journal, and replace the growing number of researchers who are leaving his company for competitors. Now, my next guest stresses that AI is potentially bigger than we think. He also mentions Oracle and its new cloud deal. So we saw his notes and wanted to get him on to walk us through his thoughts. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Keith Fitz-Gerald. Keith, I've been meaning to bring it up. We just have so much to talk about, right? But Zuckerberg and his $100 million pay packages. $100 million. I'm going to bring up Bobby Bonilla Day later on in the segment, not this one, but to me, that's amazing. $100 million.
Yeah, my jaw half dropped, but half didn't, right? What this highlights to me, Scott, is something that hasn't occurred to most people. Everybody thinks of AI as a tech. It is possibly the biggest tech in recorded human history. It will alter the course of humanity and our planet, right? So if you're playing for all the marbles, and that's what Zuck is doing, then it makes sense. But if you're thinking this is just going to be a passing fad or something, no way. You might as well bring back silent movies.
So, and we talked a little bit earlier in another segment about Tesla and the tit for tat that he's having with Trump and how it affects the car stock price. But it's not really, to me, a car stock. It is, I guess, and I think that he's like the Thomas Edison of our time, right? And I brought this up in our editorial, and I don't know if you saw this or not, but you're exactly right. When it struck home with me, having seen the things I saw last night, doing a little research, and this morning, to marry them up with your notes about AI being the tech, right? Because in Cambridge, England, at Cambridge, the university there, they've got a shoebox size little thing that is now marrying up 200,000 lab-grown brain cells with actual circuit boards.
There you go.
Because they say the human brain can make decisions and crunch calculations with a lot less energy. So if you bring in the computing power of the circuit boards with the decision power of the lab-grown brain cells, that's pretty scary. But you're exactly right. That is the technology, and that's where we're going.
Well, it is, and it's going to alter the course of our world in ways that we don't yet anticipate. It's not just the obvious stuff like putting your x-rays on a zip drive or a USB, like the old style digitalization. We're talking about decision-making capability, inference, medicine, healing, solving many of the problems we're dealing with today: hunger, water, medicine, even money. I think we're going to solve. We're going to rewire how people work, what the concept of mobility looks like, robots. I don't know whether to be terrified or optimistic, probably a little of both, because we're naturally resistant to change. But again, if you take that hat off and you look at how change has embraced humanity in the past, I think we're going to open up into an incredible golden age of human existence and investment potential.
And you used a word there that I talk about a lot in myself. And, when I'm hiring people, I like to get people on board that I can tell them to do A, B, and C, and they infer D, E, and F. I didn't have to tell them to do D, E, and F, right? I think everybody out there that's watching the show would probably agree with me. Inference is very important. Well, that's going to be no longer, right? That'll be automatic. You'll have robots or something that will be able to infer D, E, and F without you saying anything. That's already programmed in there. They'll be able to figure that out on their own. And that's going to be incredibly powerful. Yes, we should be a little bit scared, but you know what? Think about the diseases that it's going to solve. Think about all the health problems that it's going to solve. And so you have to kind of take the good with the bad and hope that the Wild West gets tamed at some point in time. But there's going to be an incredible amount of money to be made with this new generation.
Well, there is, and people don't even yet really understand it. I mean, so for example, one of the things that we deal with today, we deal with search, we deal with sorting, we deal with all these other things, and people think that that's AI because maybe you're being served up something that's relevant or you're served up here. But that's still reactionary. That's still programmatic. That's still very linear in its thinking. What I'm talking about, what you're talking about, is inferring what you actually would like to see, not necessarily what your faves sort out or what your hit list suggests you want to see next. It's going to be truly inferential. It's going to be something that moves you forward, that engages you intellectually. There won't be any more doom scrolling because you're going to have an interactive, focused session with something in the AI world.
And so those stocks today, quickly, is there anything out there that you think that's going to be on the forefront of that?
Well, I think that I'm still very much in the picks and shovels mode because, AI is great, it's sexy, it's fun, and you look at these headlines, you think, oh, wow, it's all the software. We don't even know what we don't know yet. So I'm still more interested in who's going to power it, meaning literally who's going to power it in terms of electricity, natural gas, reactors, whatever. But I'm also very interested in the chipsets because none of this is going to happen without the chips. So the NVIDIAs, the AMDs of the world, that's still very much where I want to be. Otherwise, I'm just going to be throwing my money onto the table or into the wind, which is what a lot of investors are doing. And I don't like to do that personally.
Right. Well, we hear a lot of people say follow the money. If Zuckerberg is willing to spend $100 million per guy in his little AI super team,
right.
Do we follow that money and get on board the Meta right now?
Well, that's certainly a good argument, right? But I have a hard time going from high-priced talent to high-priced results. Meta is a Wall Street darling, so lots of Wall Street money likes it. But, I'm still bothered by the reputational damage in the integrity, the ethics that company seems to embody, because every time they deny something, they say, weeks later, they find out they've been doing it.
Right,
so if they can control all of that and he continues to adult, which I like, I think Meta maybe goes to $1,000 a share and I might actually have to buy the dang thing.
Well, I mean, after that metaverse or whatever, that the mistake
was.
Oh,
that was bait and switch of the worst degree.
Yeah, I mean, it was that didn't work out very well for him. So
no.
All right. Well, maybe that's a wait and kind of a see one. We'll have to put that on the back burner and see if they really come. First of all, they got to hire the guys and they have to make something, and then maybe we get involved.
Yes.
But that's probably the game plan there. All right. I love talking to you about it because I love you're outside of the box thinking, and you've got a lot of big fans here at RFD TV. Thank you very much for coming on, Keith. Really love having you. Keith Fitz-Gerald. Can't wait to see you again next week.